This is the QLICKSMART BladeFLASK, the world's first single-handed scalpel blade remover. In this video, we will give you step-by-step instructions on how to use BladeFLASK to safely remove and contain contaminated scalpel blades. BladeFLASK is quick and easy to use, enabling the safe removal of blades with one hand only. To use BladeFLASK single-handedly, you first need to install the universal bracket for mounting the BladeFLASK. This is a one-time procedure only. The step-by-step instruction on how to install the bracket is given at the end of this video. 1. Hold the scalpel such that the sharp edge of the blade is facing right. 2. Using one hand only, place the blade on the landing pad and push the handle all the way until you hear a click. The click indicates that the blade is removed and contained in the BladeFLASK. 3. Pull out the handle. As blades are removed, the counter on the BladeFLASK counts down from 100 to 0. Once reaching 0, it automatically shuts off to prevent overfilling. When full, remove the BladeFLASK from the bracket and insert a new one to continue the safe removal of scalpel blades. Dispose the used BladeFLASK as a sharps container, following your facility's disposal procedure. 1. Ensure the scalpel blade faces the right way. 2. Don't skew the scalpel handle to the left, right, up, or down. Always insert the scalpel in the flat position. 3. Use one hand only when removing the blades. You don't need the other hand to hold the BladeFLASK as it's fastened onto the bracket. The following section gives you a detailed instruction on how to install the universal bracket. Installing the bracket is a one-time procedure only. Once the bracket is installed, you only need to replace BladeFLASK with a new one when full. The bracket can either be installed on the wall, on a bench, or a trolley. There are two basic methods to install the bracket, either by the strong double-sided tape on the base of the bracket, or by using the provided screws and plugs, or both. The instruction page acts as a template for you to set the location of the bracket on the bench, trolley, or wall. Local policies need to be adhered to. Use the instruction page template as a guidance to find the correct location of the bracket. Minimum height clearance is needed for mounting and removing the BladeFLASK. Minimum side clearance is needed for mounting the BladeFLASK. Mark the location of the bracket and permanently fasten the bracket using either the double-sided tape or the plugs and screws, or both. Now you can insert BladeFLASK onto the bracket for single-handed blade removal action. Use the instruction page template as a guidance to find the correct location of the bracket such that the mounted BladeFLASK does not protrude out from the bench edges. Minimum setback from the front edge is required. Mark the location of the bracket and permanently fasten the bracket using either the double-sided tape or the plugs and screws, or both. Now you can insert BladeFLASK onto the bracket for single-handed blade removal action.